toxic masculinity.
So Biden blames Trump for the border crisis. This is actually pretty funny. Let's go on to this story here. So I'm just going to play you this video because this is one of the most ridiculous things. Anyway, basically Biden saying, you know, okay, well, let me play the video, then I'll tell you what I think of it.
And urgent action now is what's happening at the southern border. Is it a crisis?
It is getting urgent action now. For example, a month ago, we had thousands of young kids in custody in places they shouldn't be and controlled by the Border Patrol. We have now cut that down dramatically. Here, look, here's what happened, Craig. The failure to have a real transition, the two departments that didn't give us access to virtually anything were the Immigration and the Defense Department. So we didn't find out they had fired a whole lot of people, that they were understaffed considerably.
But in April alone, Mr. President, 170,000 people, migrants, apprehended at the border. It's a 20-year record. There are 22,000 unaccompanied children in our country right now. That's a record. That sounds to most folks like a crisis.
Well, look, it's way down now. We've now gotten control. For example, they didn't plan for, which it comes every year, this flow, whether it's 22,000 or 10,000. They didn't have the beds that were available. They didn't plan for the overflow. They didn't plan for the Department of Health and Human Services to have places to take the kid from the Border Patrol and put them in beds where there was security and there were people that could take care of them. So there's a significant change right now. Significant change in the circumstance for children coming to and at the border.
During the campaign, you pledged to reunite hundreds of children who have been separated from their parents.
Okay, so this is... Did you guys notice that there's a moment when... Hold on a second, I got to turn this off. There's a moment when this black guy reporting actually like rolls his eyes.
They didn't plan for the overflow. They didn't plan for the Department of Health and Human Services to have places to take the kid from the Border Patrol and put them in beds where there's security.
Hold on, I'm not sure.
To take care of them. So there's a significant change right now. Significant change in the circumstances.
Maybe that's
22,010. They didn't have the beds.
Let's watch that again.
Got in control. For example, they didn't plan for, which it comes every year, this flow, whether it's 22,000.
And
they didn't have the beds.
there it is. So even lefty reporters are rolling their eyes at Joe Biden's ridiculousness. Okay, I mean, I can read this story to you, but I think it's better if I just talk about it because everybody knows how bad what's going on at the border is. But here's the reason why this is so ridiculous, right? He's saying, oh, the problem is, man, that the Trump administration, they fired a bunch of people, and they obviously weren't prepared for a big surge like this. They weren't prepared for so many people coming in. Yeah, that's because they weren't inviting people in. The Trump administration wasn't saying to people of South America, please come illegally into our country. We'll just let you in. We love people who are illegal. It doesn't matter if you're a terrorist. It doesn't matter if you're running drugs into our country. It doesn't matter if you are you're a criminal or you're a murderer. None of that matters. Just come on over. You can just come on in. It's fine. It's fine. We're going to stop building that border wall, by the way, so you can just slip right on around it. Yeah, so all these people in South America, Central America, they heard this, that Biden was going to be elected, and Biden was saying all this stuff about come on in, and so there's a big surge, and yeah, they probably weren't prepared for it because Trump had fixed the immigration problem, you moron. If Trump has fixed the immigration problem, and there's not... Oh, hello, buddy. You want to come up and say hi to the people? If Trump's fixed the immigration problem and there are no illegal immigrants coming in, well, yeah, you can fire some of the people that work there because, not fire, but you can lay them off because you don't need them. You don't need such a massive amount of people there trying to process these illegal immigrants if there aren't any illegal immigrants to process, right? So certainly people are going to get laid off. So yeah, I imagine that they weren't prepared for it, but it's not Trump's fault. Trump had actually fixed the immigration problem. You screwed it all up, dude. It's like, I don't know. I'm trying to come up with a good analogy here. It's as if you shut down a prison because you're so good at keeping crime down in your city as mayor or as the governor of a state or something like that. You've gotten crime down so low that you don't need some of these prisons. So you close them down, whatever, you lay off some staff, and you just don't need the prison system as much because you don't have as much crime because you've done such a good job governing, right? And then somebody else comes in and suddenly there's tons of crime and people are being prosecuted and they need to go to prison and there's no prison. They're like, oh, why did this other guy shut down all the prisons? Yeah, well, it's because he shut down all the crime. This is exactly what's going on here. Aston, come on, man. Come on, man. I don't know. He's saying hi, I guess. All right, come on. You're a little too distracting. You're a little too distracting, buddy. All right. Okay, you can hang out, I guess. All right. We're gonna just do this with a cat. in the screen. But yeah, so this is obviously ridiculous. This is like laughable, right, Aston? No. he's not responding. It's ridiculous. I mean, but here's the problem with this kind of lie, this kind of political lie. So I wouldn't consider this like a conspiracy theory type thing. Maybe I would. I don't know. It depends on how much this is reported by CNN and MSNBC and stuff like that. All right, come on. That's enough of that. Oh, all right. Ready? All right. So, but yeah, this is kind of how this kind of conspiracy theory stuff gets started. The left will say, somebody like Biden will say, oh, what's really going on is that Trump destroyed the immigration infrastructure or something like that, right? And then all the, like CNN, MSNBC, all these people go, yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened. And they keep telling this to their viewers, and then all Democrats suddenly believe it. They're going on Twitter saying, ha 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 ha, you think this is Biden's fault. You're an idiot because you don't know, because you didn't watch Rachel Maddow today, so you're not aware. This is all Trump's fault, right? And what's really weird is that like the keyboard warriors on Twitter from the left, they're very, very smug. I often read leftist tweets and I just laugh because these people are so uninformed, but they're so damn confident about all these moronic ideas they have. But it starts with stuff like this. It starts with somebody like Biden just presenting this idiotic position as if this makes sense, right? Yeah, Trump probably left you a smaller number of people working doing immigration enforcement because he had reduced illegal immigration so much that they didn't need those people. That's my guess. I don't know. Maybe I don't even know if it's true. I don't have the numbers, so I don't know. He might just be straight up lying. There might be just as many people working at immigration enforcement as was there during the Obama administration. I don't know, right? Biden could just be straight up lying, using this as an excuse. I think it's a very, very hard topic for Biden to discuss because he's done such a bad job. I mean, it is genuinely a crisis. You have reporters here who are covering it, who are obviously friendly with Biden, and even they are rolling their eyes. So I don't know how he's going to deal with this. I honestly don't even really know how any leftist voter, or I don't really understand why Democrats are even taking Biden seriously at this point. When he says, the guy can barely speak. In fact, as I was watching that video, I watched quite a bit of that interview, and I thought, I want to do a Mr. Reagan video on this. I'm going to react to everything Biden says. Because the thing is, the man, not only is he lying and making up excuses and stuff like that, but he just seems so feeble and so weak. And they used to talk about Trump as being not presidential because he was a bit crass. Well, Biden may not be as crass as Donald Trump. He may not be as politically incorrect, let's say, but he is. I think Biden is far less presidential than Donald Trump because Biden can barely even hold himself together during an interview. You know what I mean? Like it almost seems like he's going to say, you know what, it's my nap time. I gotta go, or the nurse needs to feed me, or something like that. You know what I mean? He seems not. And look, I don't want to be cruel to people in nursing homes because my grandmother was in a nursing home, and she was she had Alzheimer's. She was pretty much, he was pretty feeble there at the end. In fact, she was actually quite aggressive. I think she tried to escape a few times from the hospital, not knowing quite where she was. So she was a bit difficult to handle. But older people, they get feeble. It's nothing to make fun of. It's nothing to mock or to ridicule or to even to criticize. It's just something that happens when people get old, and we're all going to get old one day. So I don't want to ridicule Biden for getting old. But I don't really understand how the left can look at somebody like that in that kind of a state and think, that's our president. I mean, you cannot be proud of a president who doesn't appear to be able to function very well. And there's something weird about Biden's face. Have you guys noticed? He looks very almost like emaciated, like there's something wrong with him. And I'm not sure what this is, but I think it might have been Valeria. I think Valeria mentioned this. There are people who apparently think, from what I understand, from what I hear, that he's injecting Botox to make himself look less wrinkly. But like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why would you try to make yourself look younger? Like, I think looking old can be very distinguished. There's no reason to do that. So either he's using Botox, or he's getting so old that he's starting to look like he's dying. Like, there's something wrong with his face, you guys. Have a look at him. He's kind of got this empty stare, right? Like his brain's not there anymore, and there's something wrong with him physically, I think. But in fact, this is a good example of that, right? This is the kind of thing, I'm like, look at that blank stare, and then look how smooth his skin is, like here. It's like weird, right? I mean, he's all wrinkly here, and he doesn't have the crow's feet that you'd expect an old man to have. So I think he must be getting Botox. Either that, or he's so old that there's something wrong with him. I don't know. He looks like he's gonna die soon. That's what I think. I mean, it's sad. Even though I don't agree with him, I don't like him. I think he's a criminal. We need to have a president who looks healthy, right? Not Kamala Harris, please. All right, well, let's move on to the next story. This one, let's see here. So this one's a little bit weird. It's okay. So this story is called "Biden Mask Fetish Drives Skepticism of Vaccines." Right now, so this is something that we've kind of speculated on, and Tucker Carlson touches on this a lot. This idea that Biden wearing the mask all the time is going to confuse people, right? People think they need a mask after they've been vaccinated now because Biden keeps wearing a mask all the time. And according to this doctor, this is very likely, right? That people are no longer trusting the vaccine. So it's even worse than people thinking you need to wear a mask after the vaccine. It's like, if you got to wear a mask after the vaccine, does the vaccine even work, right? So this is driving skepticism, according to this guy.
Toxic Masculinity. Weekdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific.